The Voice. This country twist on Elton John drew comparison to Coach Blake Shelton. The battle rounds are still going strong on NBC's The Voice Season 22, but don't think you'll only get to hear country music from Team Blake. In an unexpected twist during the blind auditions, country singer Orlando Mendez went with Team Camila Cabello following his four-chair turn, earning the nickname the Cuban Cowboy. For his first post-audition performance, he was paired up with Ava Lynn Thoreson to cover Rocket Man. It's safe to say you've never heard Elton John covered like this before. While Thoreson had a pop tone throughout the song, Mendez honored his country vibe and added some gravely and unexpected twang to the Elton John classic. Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton called out one specific moment in the song where he had a long, drawn-out note that really set him apart from his competitor. While I'd argue his take on the song was unique enough to make him stand out, this moment really did make Mendez's vocal skills shine. "Is that what me and you look like when we sing together?" Stefani joked to Shelton when she kicked off the feedback. She noted that Mendez has tons of character on stage, saying that of the two performers, she chose Blake. Considering it was a country singer paired with a pop singer, it was hard not to draw comparisons to our favorite voice couple. Next up with the feedback was John Legend, who was clearly impressed with both performers, especially Mendez. He noted that it was a really interesting take on the song and that he really enjoyed watching his performance. "Orlando, with that gravel and that growl, you just seemed to own the stage, and your presence was really felt by everyone. That was really fun to watch," Legend expressed. Shelton noted that Thoreson gave a more diverse performance, but in his opinion, Mendez had that one moment that brought home the win. Ultimately, the decision was with Coach Camila, and she sided with the other judges. Orlando Mendez officially moved on to the knockout rounds, and we're excited to see what he takes on next. On The Voice, unexpected pairings and bold reimaginings of classic songs have always been a recipe for memorable performances. But every once in a while, a contestant takes such a daring creative leap that it not only leaves the coaches speechless, but stirs up comparisons to the legendary artists sitting in the big red chairs. Recently, one particular performance stood out in this way, a country-fueled rendition of an Elton John classic that not only captured the audience's attention, but had everyone comparing the contestant to country music star and longtime voice coach Blake Shelton. The contestant in question was a young singer from Texas named Jace Carson, whose deep, rich voice had already garnered attention during the blind auditions. Throughout the competition, Head showcased his affinity for country music, performing hits from Merle Haggard, George Strait, and even Chris Stapleton. But during one of the season's more pivotal rounds, the knockout stage, Jace decided to take a risk that left everyone buzzing. He put a country twist on Elton John's legendary song, Rocket Man. The song choice that shocked everyone. Elton John's Rocket Man is a staple of 1970s rock, known for its spacey lyrics, haunting melody, and unforgettable piano riffs. It's a song that has been covered countless times by artists across different genres, but rarely does it get the full country treatment. Jace, however, saw the song differently. He believed the tale of a lonely man floating through the cosmos, yearning to return home, could resonate just as deeply within the framework of a country ballad. After all, at the heart of both genres, country and classic rock, there's often a story of longing, of homesickness, and of heartache. When Carson announced his song choice during rehearsals, his coach, Kelly Clarkson, was both excited and nervous. "It's a bold move," she told him, her eyebrows raised in surprise. "But if anyone can pull it off, I think it's you." Jace's approach was simple. He slowed down the tempo slightly, swapped out the piano for a more acoustic sound, and gave the song a twangy, soulful touch with the help of pedal steel guitar and mandolin. The result was a complete transformation of Rocket Man into a country ballad. The iconic chorus, "And I think it's gonna be a long, long time," took on a whole new life as Jace crooned the words with the emotion of a man weary from the road, aching for the familiarity of home. The performance that stole the show as soon as Jace took the stage, dressed in a denim jacket, cowboy boots, and a classic Stetson hat, it was clear he was ready to make a statement. The opening notes of his rendition were soft and intimate, with just a simple strumming pattern on an acoustic guitar. It was clear that this wouldn't be a flashy or gimmicky performance. It was all about the emotion. As Jace's deep baritone filled the air, the entire audience sat in awe. His voice, rough around the edges yet filled with sincerity, carried the weight of the song beautifully. He injected an unmistakable country flavor into the chorus, stretching each note with a drawl that tugged at the heartstrings. The pedal steel guitar weaved in and out, adding a mournful quality that complemented the lyrics' themes of loneliness and isolation. By the time Jace hit the final chorus, the crowd was on their feet, clapping along as he brought the song to a crescendo. It was one of those rare moments on The Voice where everything, song choice, arrangement, performance, came together perfectly. Even the coaches, who had heard thousands of songs over the years, couldn't help but smile in appreciation. As the last notes faded, the audience erupted into applause, and Jace tipped his hat to them with a humble grin. The cameras cut to the coaches, who were clearly impressed. Blake Shelton, in particular, seemed almost in awe. Comparisons to Blake Shelton's classic style, it didn't take long for the comparisons to Blake Shelton to start flying. Almost immediately after Jace's performance, social media was flooded with comments from fans, drawing parallels between the contestant and the country superstar. Blake, of course, is known for his traditional country roots, his gravelly voice, and his ability to connect with listeners on a deeply emotional level. Throughout his career on The Voice, Blake has often guided contestants towards staying true to the essence of country music, telling stories that come from the heart, filled with raw emotion and authenticity. Jace's performance of Rocket Man seemed to embody all of those qualities, and it didn't go unnoticed. In the post-performance discussion, Blake was the first to speak. "Man, I gotta say, that was right in my wheelhouse," he said, his signature Oklahoma drawl heavy with admiration. "I've always believed that country music can tell any kind of story, and you just proved that with Elton John. That's something I would have done. I'm honestly a little jealous I didn't think of it first." Kelly Clarkson, clearly proud of her contestant, chimed in, "Blake's right. That was such a cool reimagining of a song we've all heard a million times, but never like that. Jace, you just made Elton John a country star." John Legend, who had remained contemplative during the performance, nodded in agreement. "It's rare to take such an iconic song and make it your own in a way that feels natural," he said. "But you did it." The aftermath, a star in the making, Jace's performance had not only captivated the audience and the coaches, but it also sparked a wider conversation about the blending of genres. In an era where country music has increasingly crossed over into pop and rock, his rendition of Rocket Man felt like a reminder that great storytelling knows no boundaries. It also further fueled the comparison to Blake Shelton's career, where traditional country sensibilities have often merged with modern influences. In the days that followed, Jace's version of Rocket Man went viral on social media, racking up millions of views and comments from fans who praised his creativity and boldness. Some even speculated that he could be the next big thing in country music, much like Shelton himself when he first burst onto the scene with hits like Austin and Ole Red. As Jace moved forward in the competition, the comparisons to Blake Shelton persisted, but he also continued to carve out his own path. His ability to bridge the gap between genres while staying true to his country roots made him one of the most exciting contestants of the season. In the end, whether Jace Carson goes on to win The Voice or not, his unforgettable country twist on